Good evening, I'm Alex, and welcome to Homebrew, presented by Raven and Blade. Homebrew is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons live play that is featured on streaming sites like YouTube and Twitch, and now, using the distilled essence of unicorn tears, podcasts. Homebrew tells the tale of 5 emergent freelancers for hire: Gareth, the noble battlemaster; Lee, the rogue assassin; Lux, the scholarly wizard; Stranfiend, the seafaring druid; and Thoradin, the artisan barbarian, and their adventures through the lands of Alin Din. In this episode, we jump ahead just a little bit. I failed to capture the audio of the battle in the Whitecap Warehouse versus the Point House Thieves Guild, but suffice to say, the party dominated and was successful in capturing Seika, the guild leader. The most important part of this episode is the introduction of the missing 5th, Lee Bond, the elf rogue, played by Jackie. I hope you enjoy. So Lee, you were actually at the Fight Club, and you saw these guys just tear in and annihilate pretty much everyone there. Now, you're an elf, and you were the only elf there, so you really didn't know anyone there yet. You were just trying to get a sense of how the Thieves Guild worked in town, trying to meet some people. You didn't really like this particular bunch. It seemed like they had, especially the people that were in charge of the whole thing, they seemed to have more of an agenda, which you perhaps weren't completely comfortable with. So you were like, yeah, I'm not really cool with these guys. So you didn't feel a great sense of loss when it got completely trounced. And somehow through the aftermath, you kind of snuck out. You were in hiding like the whole fight, the whole time that they're hiding in there, that they're in there dealing with this, with the Point House Thieves Guild. And you kind of snuck out after it was all done and followed them through Whitecap. This is Whitecap, by the way. I can't remember how much we told you about the actual campaign, and there's actually still a couple of things that we need to do as a group as well. But eventually, somehow you caught up to them, got into a conversation with them. You guys would not have trusted her right away, especially if you knew that she was there in the warehouse. So something kind of sold her to you guys. It may have been the cleavage. It may have been... I was going
to say, her boobs are basically eyeball height for me.
I figure she just brought like chocolate chip cookies or something.
I have cookies.
Cookies and melons do it for me every time.
Yeah. I have a criminal contact. That's part of my background description I'm reading here.
Yeah, he's dead now.
So
He got killed in the warehouse.
Oh. Dang it.
They took care of that contact for you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you still have another contact in the city. I'll have to go in and look at the specifics of that background to see how it's going to tie in, but we'll figure that out. One additional sort of game thing in Roll20 that you're going to need before we start is, you're familiar with inspiration in D&D? Do you remember that in our tabletop game?
Yes, I know you can sometimes get a point of inspiration from the DM.
Right. For this campaign, for my campaign, I came up with the use of what are called inspiration cards, which is a deck of cards that you draw from as a character, and you have a hand basically, and every single card is different, and you can play an inspiration card anytime that you want to during the game. And there are different rules as far as how you gain new cards and how you can get rid of cards. So you have up to 5 cards in your hand at any given time. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal you your first 2 inspiration cards, and they're going to show up in Roll20. See how each of the players, they have a blue rectangle with a number in it over their name?
I didn't mean to. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's their hand of inspiration cards. So I'm going to deal 2 cards to you.
Okay.
So you'll have your first 2, and you can click on the rectangle to open up the cards. What you don't want to do is drag the card out and throw it onto the map, because that'll remove it from your hand. Just click on it in the window, and it'll make it big so you can actually read it.
Okay.
So there are your first 2 cards.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay.
So you got Favor of the Unholy. Now, the way these god-oriented cards work is that if you worship the god that card is for, you can do 2 of those things before you have to discard. If you're not a worshiper of that god, then you can only pick 1 of those things, and then you discard the card. But there's some pretty good things with Favor of the Unholy, and then you got Vital Shot. When you strike a foe in combat, you play the card. That foe has disadvantage on combat rolls for 1d4 rounds. So yeah, you can play those cards at any time. Typically how it works is that at the end of a session, you can choose to discard 1 or all of your cards. These are the rules. A window should have just popped open for you.
Yes.
Those are the inspiration card rules showing you how you can use them and how you get more of them.
Where is this inspiration card to be opened and closed if I want to look at it later?
In Roll20, it's on your right above your name in your hand.
Like same place where your cards are for mansions.
Yeah.
I can see my cards, but how do I get that description of how I get inspiration to come back?
Oh, sorry. I can open it's in your journal, but I can open it up for you as well if you want.
Well, I want to be able to access it in the future.
So click on your journal button, and there should be a folder called Handouts, and then a folder called Campaign, and then
Cool.
Inspiration cards. Yep.
Cool. The Pantheon's in there apparently too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the god list in there. I don't know if it's updated, though. Let me see if it's updated. It is not updated. No, it is. Yeah, they're all in there.
Oh, I could have just looked here to decide what I was doing for my spells. Nice. Thank you for that, Alex.
You're welcome. So, I think we ended up, and Jackie, feel free to interrupt with any questions or anything that you may have during the course of this. Since this is your first official game, welcome.
Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you.
Down at if you wanted to peruse the world map while I'm setting things up, it's down here at the bottom of the Roll20 page. There's a higher resolution one that I can share too, so you can actually maybe read some of the locations.
And he did all of this, Jackie. This is all Alex brain.
Because I'm obsessed.
Not a prefab.
This campaign world I've been working on for the better part of probably 20 plus years. So I first got the idea for this campaign world. Actually, it's been more than 20 years because I was living in Houston doing the band thing at the time with the first incarnation of this, but it's changed a lot since I first started on it. But yeah, I've had a lot of time to add little things to it. So I think last time when we ended up, Gareth wanted to go and speak to his parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
About the reputation and activities of the Tullamore. And when you do so, you get 2 reactions out of them. And before I say what the reactions were, I need you to tell me which of your parents which parent is tougher and which one is easier on you.
I'm going to say that my dad was tougher.
Okay, good. That's the way I wrote it.
Okay.
I chose well. So when you're asking these questions, your father is rather distant. He just sort of blows your questions off, and he just straight up tells you that you need to stop questioning things, and when the hell are you planning on going to work for the family rather than going about punching things, which is probably a reaction that you're kind of used to from him because he does not like the more martial choice that you've made with your life, and you're basically just wasting your life, and you need to get into the family business, that sort of thing. But your mother is slightly more revealing. The lumber guild in Whitecap has been reluctant to form an actual guild. Like, there are definitely lumber companies, but they've been reluctant to sort of kind of unionize, essentially, due to the influence of what she calls the Nine, what is also known as the Shaded Dynasty. and the Shaded Dynasty are basically the nine guilds in Whitecap that have sort of joined together into a guild union of sorts.
Into a what of sorts? You cut out.
A guild union, basically an Uber guild, a guild of guilds.
The Voltron of guilds.
It is. And there's been definite pressure placed upon the Legants to form up and join. Your mom doesn't know exactly what the nine are up to, but she knows that they are fiercely anti-crown, and it really has your dad stressed out about it. Like, he's just been operating at max level, which you, I'm sure, have noticed over the last few weeks, month or more.
Right.
So the nine in the Shaded Dynasty, the 9 guilds, and sometimes I feel like going with this guild route in the game makes me feel like how people felt about the first Star Wars, which would be the 4th Star Wars, but that's not the document that I want. I want this one. So the Shaded Dynasty are made up of 9 guilds. There's the merchant house called the House of the Pure, which basically handles the purchasing, import and export of raw materials. You have the Tullamore, who are the Weavers Guild. You don't have to write these down. There's Smallware, which is the Haberdasher. The Council of Green Street, who are the Dyers in Whitecap. Bricker's Life, who are the Bakers. The Wolves of 29 Born, who are the leather workers and saddlers. The Antient Lodge, who are the Masons. The Crusadus. I wrote the word and I don't even know how to pronounce it. Cruciatus. I think I like that the most. The Cruciatus, who are the blacksmiths and metalworkers, and the Gleeman Club, who are the jewelers. And these 9 guilds together have formed this guild of 9 called the Shaded Dynasty. Now, the other thing that the group was talking about last time was kind of going official with the group and starting work as sort of an official guild, mercenary guild in Whitecap. And to do so, you have to register. Now, the guild is led by a group called the Echoes of Horus, and you get sort of a provisionary status until you've successfully completed a mission, and then after that you pay a 25 gold entrance fee and then 5 gold pieces per month per level of your average membership. And as sort of what you get in return for that payment is you get access to the guild hall, which is in the Gray Slab district of Whitecap. You get better job opportunities, and you get access to the guild smithy and their equipment stores. The leader of the Echoes of Harris is this guy named Filian, sort of a charismatic, roguish type, and he lets you know that if you're interested, they do have a job that they could send you on as your provisionary job to be able to get membership into the Echoes.
So are we kind of torn between what's going on with Gareth's family and this provisionary job?
No reason why you couldn't do both.
All right. I feel like that could be an option then.
So you say, what's the monthly cost? You say 5 gold per average level of us? Is that what you're saying?
5 gold per month per level. So right now it would be 15 gold per month.
Or we can just look on a message board and get jobs?
Yes, you could, although the jobs would not be as lucrative, and you would not have the side benefits of having access to the guild hall, the smithy, and the equipment stores.
Is that gold each or for our group?
That would be for the group.
Oh, that's not bad then.
Yeah, that's not bad. What about when do we always have the chance to turn, or we always have the right to turn down a job, or are we expected to do a job? Like if it goes against our moral or our view or our alliances with other people, would we have? I mean, do we have the option to decline it? Once
you've established yourself and build up a bit of a reputation, then yeah, you would have more freedom to pick and choose.
I don't like the idea of being told what we have to do, and I don't know. Lucrative jobs are great, but
this first job that they want to send you on, this provisional job, there's apparently a cargo ship setting sail for Cyranor, which is the capital of Delafran, the kingdom across the Wyrmheart to the southeast. They're carrying some sort of precious cargo, and the ship happens to be the same ship that Finney serves on.
So we would be guarding Finney's ship.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to being an official guild. If we can make choices down the road, all we
can always leave the guild if we feel like they're asking.
Stop making our monthly payments, right?
You could.
The ship I grew up on, or the ship that I interned?
The Tonn Bogha, however you pronounce it.
Tonn Bogha.
Tonn Bogha. The Tonn Bogha. They are setting sail for Cyranor.
Awkward to have 2 druids on it. I'm not being employed as a druid. I'm being employed as a guard.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll just have some personal shit to deal with, folks. All right.
Perhaps
I thought you were on good terms. Isn't that where we've been staying and partying?
But think about it. I'm a young adult. I'm ready for my own, I'm finally ready to strike out on my own. I just finished my internship, and my first job is
to go back.
My family's ship. Yeah. So that's okay, because she, is a pretty steady individual. She might have a lot of stuff going to the surface, but she's a pretty steady individual. Yep. Good place to start. Okay. All right. We're starting with the known. Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Anyone have any questions? Jackie, do you have anything?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm down for going.
Where do you think your character is... Jackie, where do you think your character is currently staying in Whitecap? What's your living situation?
I'm staying in one of the inns nearby. I haven't been there super long, and I wasn't especially looking to stay very long.
Right.
So fucking off onto another ship sounds pretty good to me right now.
How does Lee feel about being on a boat? Is she comfortable with it?
Yes.
I'm on a boat.
My question would be, how does Gareth feel about leaving a potentially hairy situation for his family? Like, is that something we should manage first?
I mean, this is something my family's been dealing with for a while, and that's just...
Might not be a bad idea to skip town after kicking the shit out of the Thieves Guild.
And I don't know what I can really do to help my parents right now, because this is we're in their business, and they've kind of not really brought it upon themselves, but that's just part of the price of running a big business in Whitecap.
Yeah. All right.
And they're not gonna they're not gonna listen to me anyway, and my dad certainly doesn't want my help, because all I'm doing is just screwing around. So
do you think your character recognizes... do you think your dad is just a dick, or do you recognize the greater stresses that he's under and it's coming out in a negative fashion?
I mean, I think I do recognize the greater stress, but since he was always tough on me growing up, he is just that's kind of... he's a rough man to be around. He's not the most understanding father. So, while I do appreciate that he is under extra stress right now and that's making things worse, he is kind of a jerk to begin with.
Okay. Is there anything... Oh, how does the dwarf feel about being on a boat? How does Thoradin feel about being on a boat? Is he one of those traditional dwarves hate water types?
Yeah, I don't love the idea. My backstory was that I was taken away on a boat, but I also escaped on a boat from where I was being held. So I see them as a necessary evil, but I'm probably not as sure-footed. It's not my natural environment at all.
So some mixed feelings about it.
It's mixed feelings. I'm a little anxious about it. I'll do what's needed for the group, but I'd rather be around mountains instead.
Yeah.
But
I feel like my character would be similar in mind. I've been having a good time, but it was also docked at the time.
That's true. It wasn't in motion.
Yeah, as a gnome, I think I would prefer, earthy things.
Yeah. All right.
Then again,
It's just really far below.
I was going to say, then
mountains
again, the
down there?
Pleiad thing that I'm looking at is apparently water-based, so... No, it's air. Okay.
All right. So
Fancy
what?
air.
Since Finny already basically has all of her possessions on board, is there anything specific that anyone would like to bring before the ship sets sail? You have basically this day to sort of take care of things before it sets off the next morning.
So what? Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead. I got to find it.
I was going to ask, what are the exact, what's the exact listing of the job that we're doing again?
You are basically serving as not bodyguards, but you're basically acting as protectors of the ship to ensure that it and its cargo arrives to Cyranor successfully. Once it's there, then you're done and you can sail back on the Bonhua.
Do we have any idea of what they're concerned about?
Or Tanwa, sorry. There's no specific threats. This is a high-value delivery, though you don't know what it is. It's in a crate. It'll be stashed in the lower hold, and it does have a representative traveling with it from... Apparently, there's some kind of auction that's happening in Cyranor, and this is an auction item that's going to be sold. And there's a servant of the auction house that's accompanying it, a man named Ceryn, Ceryn. He's going to be responsible specifically for the crate, like he is not permitted to leave the crate side for the entire trip. And it takes about 4 days to get to Cyranor from Whitecap.
So does that mean he's got like a bucket next to him in case he has to use facilities?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, he has... Yeah, though that's how ship, yeah, if you were down below the deck and you couldn't get up top, then yeah, you just peed in a bucket. Or pooped.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, wow.
So I watched that video that Aaron sent the other day, and I made a list, and now I can't find the list that I made, of a couple items that I thought would be fun for us to have. But
Okay.
I don't know what happened to it now.
I
so
remember
don't-
lots of rope and chalk.
Let's see. I definitely have 10 pieces of chalk amongst my stuff.
That's good.
Nice.
I also have 100 feet of rope.
Okay, so we've got the rope. There was like a couple weird, like ball bearings was another thing, and I think I've used that in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, don't. I got 1,000 ball bearings. Don't you worry. We're gonna fuck some shit up.
Jackie loaded up.
Yeah, after watching that, then I got to indulge in all of my shopping, but without actually spending any money.
Sweet.
Hey now. Yeah, I have no. We'll just go with it for now, and I'll rewatch it then. Again, I had made a nice long list, and in my fuckery of that is my desk, can't find it. So
I also have a grappling hook
perfect. That was one of the other things.
and a piton. Actually, multiple pitons.
That was the other things we needed.
Whatever the hell those are for.
Pythons.
For like rock climbing.
Rock climbing.
Okay.
Or if you need to like staple a door shut, you drive that into the ground on one side of the door and then it can't be opened.
Okay.
I kind of picture like a heavy nail, like railroad spike almost.
Yeah, that's basically what they are. They're just spikes.
With an eye at the end, yeah.
I also have string. I have string and a bell
Oh, bell. Yeah, that was another
for
thing.
making alarms and such.
Yes.
All right, so Jackie pretty much got to do her shopping well, so we don't need to worry about
I
that.
have no idea.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't hurt to have like a crowbar. Do we have one?
Like a crowbar or an actual crowbar?
I do
Either one.
actually.
I have a
It is
crowbar.
my
too.
goal in life to be the best thief ever. So
I was going to say, you complete me.
Okay, and then if we're going on a boat, I want to pick up a fishing pole and some line and some hooks and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, you can do that.
Okay.
They probably have, unless you want your own, I'm sure they have some just floating about the ship that you could also use too.
I mean, I wouldn't want to impose on them.
So
If it brings in food and you're sharing the fish with everyone, then they're totally fine with you fishing.
Yep.
Okay, because I want to fishing mini game in the.
So Finny, like, is this ship? What does this ship normally like have on it for weaponry? Do you have actual cannons? Do we need to think about flaming arrows to bring along or bombs to throw?
Well, let me before you answer.
Mike, can't I answer with the information that we discussed?
You can absolutely, but I also have
Never mind.
one additional thing. No, I'm just saying I have to round out your explanation. I can actually put you on board the ship because one thing that I've made over the last week is an actual map of the Tonn Bogha. Let me Tonn Bogha. I don't need to write it down. It's actually literally right in front of me, but it's spelled Tonn Bogha.
It's Tonn Bogha.
It's French.
It's Celtic.
Oh, Celtic. Aha.
Nicely done, love.
So the ship is armed with a single ballista mounted on the top deck, the fore of the ship, up at the top. There are basically 4 levels to it. You got the lower hold and then the cargo hold. Variety of bedrooms. There's sort of like a bunk barracks type area, which is up here, which are all bunk beds, and that sleeps 10 or more if people are crashing on the floor. There's a dining room, the captain's quarters. There are some single bed rooms on the lower hold with an office and a kitchen towards the fore of the ship. And the pilot is typically at the wheel on the upper deck there in the rear. The ship has a crew of 15, typically. The captain is a female Rashian. Her name is Peria. Her pilot is a guy named Than, who's a bit cranky in demeanor, but he is also he's a little curious and interested, and he's a good talker, even though he's a little bit cranky. He's like that charismatic old guy, cranky type that you still kind of like talking to, even though he's a little bit, just kind of complains about everything. There are 2 men-at-arms on the ship, which actually is a male and female men-at-arms. There is a male Rashian named Kyril, and there's another Gnoll serving on the Tonn Bogha. Tonn Bogha? I'm going to get it right. Tonn.
Like done, but ton, yeah.
Tonn Bogha. Her name is Organia, and then there are 11 other, like Princess Leia, and there are 11 other sailors that serve on board. In addition to that, on this particular trip, there will be Saren, who is the auction house liaison accompanying the crate, and then the 5 of you.
It's a busy boat.
Is there a safe place that we could store things that we don't want to bring with us, like the majority of our gold, in case we sank or got thrown overboard and had to strip naked to swim? So we...
Oh, like back in Whitecap?
Have a safety deposit box in the bank of Whitecap, whatever. The first national Whitecap, whatever.
That, or perhaps you could talk Gareth into keeping it at his mansion, since that might be a fairly secure place to keep.
Probably not a bad idea.
To keep treasures.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
We can store them under my bed.
All right, we store our excess
I've
under.
got some Playboys and Firecrackers under.
I was about to say, put them under your mattress with your Playgnolls or whatever it's called.
I hand over a ceramic piggy that clinks when you shake it.
Mine's in the shape of a hippo.
So I'm only going to bring 20 gold with me. So
Okay.
I would just say, like, that's what I'm going to bring, and then the rest we'll just assume is with Ed. in the piggyback.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do the same.
Okay.
Is there any way to mark that on the sheet, or does that
Just keep
Just
it
know
in
it.
your head, yeah.
There is a notes section in D&D Beyond. It's in the same area as your actions and equipment and all that, where you can jot down, little things like that.
So I haven't played long enough to know how evil the DM is. I've had DMs like say, and you lose everything because you have a shipwreck and you strip naked or drowned.
I keep a couple coppers on me too because I need those for spellcasting.
Just because you ask the question, you lose everything.
Oh, hell. But
That's
just
how-
you, only you.
Just you. That's how hardcore I am.
You are now naked and drowning and very poor.
Nice.
These sailors, aren't they? I know they're depicted by humans. They all gnolls.
No, just Organia is the only null right here.
That'd be really weird since I grew up with my family of gnolls.
I didn't know that you grew... Is this the same ship that you grew up on?
Yeah, this is not the one I interned on. This is the one I.
So, okay.
interned
No,
on
that's...
over on the ocean.
I can easily replace some of the sailors with gnolls. I didn't name all of them. The only ones that I named were like the named positions, like
Gnolls.
captain and pilot. So what... I did not even refer to your specific background. I didn't know that I didn't remember that you had been on the ship for that long. I thought this was more like a recent thing.
If you want to, we can just say that this was the one I interned, and that would be that way. We don't have all of my familial connections and the druid that was. I mean, this was the ship I apprenticed as a druid on. That, like, I was their practice druid, and that would probably be a lot easier than saying that it was the ship that. And you can just leave the name the same. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, we can. We can.
Let's just go with it.
Yeah, we can just go with it, and it'll be fine.
Why don't we'll keep this being this name of ship, but then we'll figure out, like, maybe the other ship went out to sail, and so this particular ship you're not as familiar with, and I'll rename this ship to be something other than the Tonn Bogha.
Hey, you nailed it.
Thank you. I'm working on it. For those interested, this is a Terragirian caravel. It was a cargo class, and it was completed in 1631 at the Triano shipyards. The Triano is the capital city of Terragir, also on the Wyrmheart coast, but way down to the south in Whitecap. In Terragir, away from Whitecap to the south, but because I like little tiny details like that. I would show you the the thing I've been working on the last day or two are I built a spreadsheet, and I'm trying to build a graphic flowchart of the evolution of religion from the very beginning to current, and where all these gods evolved from and how they were sort of influenced by earlier sort of beliefs and mythologies. So that's what I do.
This is why Alex doesn't sleep.
Yep.
I sleep, just not at the same time as everyone else.
Yeah, you were perkier than I've ever heard you at 2:00 in the fucking morning. We're all like, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't really start peaking until around 11.
So it's a 4-day trip. Do we still? Isn't this the ship that we left that thief on?
Yes.
Or is that out to sea? Okay.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, he's down. They've been keeping him down here in that front, the fore chamber there in the front of the ship.
Yeah.
Oh my. I'll give you a list of sailing terms.
It's fore and aft, isn't it? Front and back?
Yeah, fore and aft. There's I mean, a ridiculous number. Like, everything that has a normal name has a sailing name. It's ridiculous. And I've forgotten than I ever knew.
It's like the military. They just have special names for everything.
Just put
Lux is
I like
just
you
gonna
putting
just-
the dots on it. That helps me.
Lux is
I don't
just
know
going to
any-
call it the front of the boat and the back of the boat.
Yeah.
And Finny is gonna roll her eyes and grit her teeth.
Well,
Actually, she's very patient. She's very patient.
That's making an assumption that in this fantasy world they use the exact same terms for everything that we do in our world.
See?
That's true. That's a dangerous assumption.
But
That's up the DM's description. Maybe he calls it the nose or the front horn of the boat.
The nipple of the boat.
The nipple of the boat.
There's the front butt and the back butt.
The front butt and back butt.
Weirdly enough, the front one is the one that's in the back, and the back butt's in the front. I mean,
I'll be on the
sailors, who
fupa
knows?
of the butt of the ship.
The below butt or above butts?
I'll be hanging out by the pearls.
All right.
Okay, so we are shipping off to
Yes.
Boston.
And
Boston.
I want to take 5. Take a bio break if you need to. Because this next section, we're going to be seated for a while. Go get a drink and use a bathroom. And we'll be right back in about 5 minutes.
Dr. Weird's mystery will be continued shortly. Say, by the way, Doctor, is mystery your sole pleasure?
Young man, what could be more pleasant than mystery?
Well, music, for instance. That's
Music, why, of course. Have you ever heard my clanking of chains?
Doctor, I'm afraid you've got me wrong. I mean the kind of music men hum or whistle when they feel on top of the world. And gentlemen, one of the many things that give you that tip-top feeling is the pleasure of being well-dressed. Perfect taste is a criterion, and in hats, there's nothing smarter than an Atom. From stem to stern, your Atom hat gives off that look of quality. You see quality in the carefully molded shape, and in the richness of the genuine all-fur felt, and in the subtle color shades. Next time you pass an Atom hat store or authorized dealer, stop in and try on an Atom. Once you see and wear an Atom hat, you'll agree that today, as before, Atom is one of America's outstanding hat values. Now, the good doctor.
When this dead hand moves, the monster created by a man they called Mad is turned loose to strike terror into the hearts of men. To shock women into uncontrolled hysteria. To prey upon the innocence of children. This is the story you heard about, talked about. The spine-tingling, blood-chilling story that stunned your emotions. Frankenstein.
Things. So,
This is why you understand me.
this is why, so if you find, that's why I'm like, who do we want, before I flip into rage mode, who do we want to question and throw me in the other direction? Because I'm just one level more closer to human from a raging bull at that point, right? It's all rage and just disaster and destroy.
You're the gun. We just need to aim you.
Yeah, just aim me in the right direction. Yeah, 'cause I will go off.
More like a cannon, I think.
A flamethrower.
Yeah. You don't have to look at it now, Alex, but I did send you an email with some. I know that's old school. Sorry.
No. I got the notification for it on my phone, actually.
With all of my beautiful photographs.
Okay.
What are we missing?
Yeah.
Oh, he's sending me some beautiful photographs, guys.
Bound chicka bound bound.
Bow, bow.
I was giving him ideas for Thoradin.
So you're saying I didn't nail it already with this figure that I made?
You did really good. Yeah, you made me get excited about certain aspects. I'm like, oh, I want that little tiny piece, and I want that little tiny piece, kind of. And now my character just changed a little bit, so now I'm kind of connected to the bear. So I was like, well, let's throw a little bear aspect in there.
Okay. Wait,
no,
like a bear,
I'm not walking around bear.
Like a bear butt.
It'd be a distraction.
Right.
Is everyone back?
I think so.
I think
I'm here.
All right.
I keep turning my mic off though because you guys don't need to hear me eat Cheez-Its.
Speak for yourself. So where do you guys? So you guys kind of, it's the morning of. Finney's already there, I'm sure, probably on deck, welcoming you on board. Where are you planning on bunking?
Captain's quarters are usually here. I don't know how you have it set up.
It's this room right there.
Oh, it is? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Typically, I mean, we could just take some of these rooms down here, maybe, underneath the captain.
That sounds good.
I mean, what's available for us? Or should we just sleep on bedrolls down by the item that we're trying to protect?
Where is this the item here we're trying to protect?
Yep.
All right. I'm pretty easy. I'm used to sleeping on stone slabs, so you can put a bunk right there if you want. I'll sleep. I can guard it.
I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna hot bunk it. Is that, how there's 3 shifts of watch on a boat. I'm assuming they might do the same way. And so you hot bunk it. You have one bunk for every 2 to maybe 3 people, but usually 2 people.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are always bunks in the main barracks room. There's always bunks available because not everyone sleeps at the same time.
So we need to divide up into shifts to help watch and guard. A guard shift, wakeful but not on duty shift.
I see. So you're saying 2 down below, 1 actively watching it, the other one kind of just there and aware to be woken up if needed.
There's only 5 of us, so I'm not sure.
Bless you.
Does anyone feel confident to take watch by themselves?
I am.
I was gonna say I feel like Finney is friends with people on the boat already.
Right. Am I strong enough, or am I the most easily duped or the least easily duped?
I will take a shift with Lee. Be like, I got these sweet thieves tools. You want to show me how to use them better?
Hell yeah. Also, since I'm an elf, I don't need to sleep. I can meditate for 4 hours and be fully rested. So.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic! So you can help. If I or if Thoradin is going to take a shift by themselves, you can kind of overlap a little bit to help.
Yes.
That sounds perfect. Yay, elfdom. Okay.
Who has dark vision and who does not?
I think Gareth is the only one who doesn't have dark vision.
Yep. Correct.
So Gareth should take a day shift.
Well, it depends.
We're way below deck, so
Where are we shifting?
Yeah.
Because if we're concerned about an inside job, we need to be shifting below deck. If we're concerned about people climbing on board, we need to be above deck.
I think both.
Okay.
Because somebody could magic in. So yeah, I'm afraid that.
Can they magic in?
I don't know.
Potentially anything is possible.
Some kind of protection.
Certainly,
maybe some protection.
Teleportation magic isn't common, but it's certainly not unheard of.
I mean, is it possible to teleport to something that you can't see, or?
It is.
Okay.
I think with the teleport spell, you guys, unless now I've been running the campaign where you could conceivably encounter threats that are beyond your capabilities, but overall things are going to be sort of loosely geared towards your level. So I wouldn't expect any wizards flying in on dragons with wish spells and teleport and a bunch of high level magics, because that would not be fair. To you or the story.
You say that now, and yet in 2 months.
However, that doesn't mean that occasionally you're not going to come across something that might be too much for you. So running is always an option. All that to say that while something teleporting in is certainly possible, it's not going to be your first thought. Your first thought is going to be probably physical assaults against the ship somehow.
Okay.
Coming from outside
source, not from within the ship. Okay.
Right. Unless, now mutiny is always possible too. That's not outside of your level. On the bounty, on the booty, mutiny on the booty.
On the bounty. Why did that make me think of breasts already?
I don't know. Mutiny on the front butt is what it was called.
Mutiny on the front butt.
I'm heaving my bountiful bosom.
Can we talk to the captain and ask if any of the crew are relatively new or unknown?
Yes, Peria is. She seems exasperated at times. That's just her general demeanor. Like everything is like, oh, what now, sort of thing. She kind of thinks through all the current crew members, and she's like, no, everyone currently on the ship has been here for at least 2 tours. 2 trips back and forth across the Wyrmheart, so no one is brand new.
Do they have? What do they have for their own watch?
They keep watch. Currently, there's no active threats on ships on the Wyrmheart. In the past, you might be looking out for vessels from Delafran. There's always the risk of some lone pirate vessel. There are aquatic creatures that could potentially be dangerous on the water that they keep out for, so they do always have a watch, but they're not actively like at war with any particular thing, other than maybe the northern tribes who are not seagoing often, so you don't frequently see a lot of tribal activity on the Wyrmheart.
Okay. And if you don't mind, this may be something you already said, but are we to keep eyes upon the box the entire time, or just keep it and the ship secure?
It and the ship secure. Saren is the only one who is sort of tasked with, you have to stay right here next to the crate.
Okay. All right. So being above decks, I think, would be perfectly... Finny would love to spend time up in the nest, keeping an eye out for dangers that lurk beneath the waves and dangers in the...
Do you want to be up in the crow's nest or on the deck?
In the crow's nest, so you can see farther. And with dark vision, I don't know how far that goes, but it'd be helpful.
That black circle indicates the crow's nest up above, so feel free to move yourself there.
And I'm fine being down in the bowels of the ship down here guarding them.
So on your ship, Lee can do the above deck sort of deal.
I guess I'll be sleeping, and then I'll switch with Thoradin.
So you said it would be a 3-watch rotation?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we handled. If you open up in the handouts folder, in the campaign folder, there's a document called watches. That's sort of the rotation that we did in previous campaigns. The first watch was sundown to midnight, second watch was midnight to 4 a.m., and then third watch was 4 a.m. to dawn.
So are we at night now? Is that what's going on? Or should we be awake anyhow?
Currently it's morning, but how do you guys want to arrange yourselves during these evening shifts? Because during the day you're probably
all just be taking evening shifts. It would be 24 hours.
Well, you got to sleep sometime.
That's why we take shifts. It's 3 8-hour shifts.
So you want to do 3 8-hour instead of being awake during the day, and then some people on shift at night. You want everyone awake.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you have 8 hours of work, 8 hours of time off, and 8 hours of sleep, and it just keeps rotating for you.
I mean, is that how... I didn't know if you wanted your group to be different to where you are all awake at the same time, except for during the watches, or if you want... You could if you were on the road. I didn't know if you wanted to continue that on board the ship, or if you want to match more of what the crew is doing.
I get on the road that we would be doing that because we sell, and the only time we need to set up a distinct watch is during the night hours when we're not moving. But right now, we need to watch all the time, and we don't have to locomote, where the transporting is being done for us. So
okay,
I think that we need a 24-hour schedule.
So what hours are going to constitute each watch? What hours are the first watch?
I don't know. Start at 8 a.m. and go from there.
So sunup, you want to say? Or 8 a.m. specifically?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
so
I think...
sunup to,
So dawn to what time?
Till supper.
To 8 hours after sunup.
Yep.
Which would be like 2 or 3.
It depends on what time of the year you're
5
talking
to
about.
1,
This is springtime.
1 to 9, 9 to 5.
Okay, say that first part again.
5 to 1.
So 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. first watch, and then second
1
watch
to
is
9.
1 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then
And then
third
9 to
watch 9
Watching
p.m.
9
to 5 a.m. Oh, what a way to make a living. Has anyone been checking out Dolly's? She's been reading children's books.
Yes, Teddy and I have watched some.
Oh,
But he likes the drag queen story time better.
of course.
Close.
Lux will do an overnight one again, and with the dark vision, I think it makes sense to have a dark vision person on overnight.
So you do
I think
the
that-
9 to 5.
Yeah, I'll do the 9 to 5, and I'll get up at 1.
So who's on? So that's third watch. Is anyone on third watch with Lux?
I thought Lee was going to be on third watch with me.
Yes.
Lee
Yeah,
and
I'll be on
Lux.
third watch.
Lux and Lee,
All right. First watch.
That would
Probably-
maybe be.
Lux and Thoradin, and then me and Gareth.
I thought that would be Thoradin. Maybe would be on first on his own,
Well,
and then
I
Gareth
don't
would
know
be
if
during the
He
day.
doesn't have to be on his own because he doesn't really that much. So she can cover more shifting.
So Lee is basically going to, which fits for a thief, do like 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. and then sleep for a few hours.
So Lee will be on first and third watch.
Yes,
Yes.
All right. And what about you, Finny?
We're Gareth and I'll take second then.
because Lee can basically be meditating during
I'll just be meditating
But-
in a corner.
Yep.
where Thoradin is and not really need to be.
All right. Chat in roll 20. That's what I have right now. Is that correct?
Looks good.
Yeah.
So who is going to be sleeping?
Okay with taking 2 shifts.
If
Who
it's
was-
5 a.m., I would probably be sleeping because I just got off my watch.
Who else is going to be sleeping from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m.?
I mean, I'd probably be sleeping. I'd still be sleeping at 5, but I'd wake up before.
All right. So sleep schedule is not going to follow the watch schedule. So first sleep.
I'm going to keep mine on the watch schedule.
All right. So in addition to the other items that the ship is carrying, the other cargo on its way to Cyranor, the crate down at the bottom, you do take note, is stamped with the seals of Adwood and Terragir, basically the symbols of the kingdom, on its way to Delafran. Saren, the auction house person accompanying the crate, he's young, but he seems very wary and tough. You feel fairly secure that he takes his job seriously, and it seems pretty dedicated to staying right where he is supposed to stay, right by the crate, having food brought to him a couple of times a day, going to the bathroom in a bucket on the corner of the room. The trip to Cyranor is about 400 miles, so it takes about 4 days of travel. So you're expecting right now that you're going to get there towards the end of the 4th day. The first day passes pretty uneventfully. You set sail out of Whitecap, and the weather at the moment is actually really, really good. That's the weather on this particular day, which is the 15th of the month. High of 79, low of 62. Winds are low, but clear sky, no precipitation. It's very nice.
It's bar nice.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, what is the approximate, this bottom section of the boat, where, how, I guess I can look at the squares. I'm sorry, I didn't realize there were squares there. I was just trying to get an idea of how long it was to know how much I could see easily. There's only one, looks like there's only one entrance to this floor of the boat from
Correct.
one pair of from the front.
Yep.
Should we not have, should we do that?
Well, there is traffic coming up and down the stairs.
Okay.
As far as like ship people. So it's not like it's not like the floor hasn't been sealed off completely, because there's other cargo down here as well.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind having a bell trap along my in front of my door. I think that when I'm sleeping, I want to set a little bell trap. I learned that from watching Lee, so no one can come into my room and surprise me.
Should we assume that each square is 5 foot by 5 foot?
Yes, it's 5 foot squares. Anything in particular that you do on the first day, or are you just gonna kind of go with it?
I learned how to make a bell trap from Lee.
I do my best to inspect that bottom floor the crates and see if I can gauge what might be in them, or get a feel for what is where in case crates were to move or change. Make sure there's not likely to be anybody like hiding in a crate, kind of thing.
The rest of the cargo is made up of lumber, minerals being shipped, and foodstuffs. And you don't take note of anything out of the ordinary or unusual. It seems like everything is carrying the things that it's supposed to be carrying.
I am just scoping out the other, I guess, people working on the ship. Number one.
You looking to hook up? Oh my God! You just got out here.
No.
Wow, day one.
Jeez.
So obviously you have been on a ship before.
I mean, if that so happens, like, that's fine. But mostly, I'm looking to see if anyone's sporting any fancy jewels or new ice that seems unexpected for somebody of a lower social status or pay grade.
I'll tell you what. Make
What?
looking to steal.
I thought you were looking to rip someone off. I was going to be impressed.
I mean, that too.
Make a perception check for me, which will be your first in-game roll.
All right.
Yay, first roll of the game.
Check.
I'm rebraiding my hair.
Oh my God.
Nice.
You did well.
What did I do? Ooh.
A 19. You don't take note of anyone with any undue wealth on them. These are all working class shipboard people. They don't have a lot of money. They basically, these are all just salt of the earth type people with they basically wear what they own. They might have a few personal belongings in with their stuff, but mostly they're just there to work on the ship. There's no one with any if anyone, Saren, as far as people outside of the group, Saren would be the best dressed out of everyone, but he's of a different class than the workers are on board, because he's there, he's hired and paid by the auction house to accompany this crate. So while he's not dressed in like his evening wear, it's more practical clothing. It's all very well tailored and made, and
So he doesn't have those little black dress on?
Right. More like a sundress.
Would it be useful to kind of investigate, the sleeping areas, bedrooms, see if there's anything strange or, because Thoradin investigated the downstairs, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to kind of nose around this middle area.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Investigation or perception?
Perception.
That's not as good for me. Yeah, perception's not nearly as good an idea.
Oh,
nice.
All right, well, maybe it is.
Look at that. No, again, you don't find anything out of the ordinary. Most of the stuff on this upper and this lower hold area is the heavier things that are harder to get down to the cargo area, and things that are more geared specifically for the ship, like supplies and food and stuff like that. But you don't notice anything weird or out of the ordinary.
All right. I think I wouldn't mind hanging out up where Finny is to get a good view. Imagine I like heights. What time is that? Are we at awake time? Like,
it's at some point during the day on the first day of the trip. So you guys are just sort of strolling around.
What's up, Finny?
Checking things out.
Hey.
Hey.
It's really fun up there because as the ship moves, you're out over the water when the seas are large enough. It's very exciting.
I just like the view, and I'm small and agile, so I want to climb up things.
Yeah, the waters are very calm, so...
I note how we're basically sleeping in king-size beds, in my view.
Nice. I have to...
I'm like 4 foot tall, so I just I'm getting great sleep. I'm stretched all the way out.
Yeah.
And
benefit
I'm
of being
hammock on the deck.
So I'm liking this. I'm thinking it's great.
All right, well, you go through the first 24 hours pretty much without incident.
Did anyone get seasick?
Well, I was going to have Thoradin make a Constitution saving throw just to see.
Yeah, especially if he's hanging out below decks, because that's where it'll get you.
Alright, so I roll my Constitution?
Saving throw specifically. Oh no, you were feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you are constituted.
I am.
I'm not to be mistaken for constipated.
Yeah, I'm not I made sure not to eat cheese before we left.
Constipation save.
Yeah.
Prunes.
Are you eating the ship food, or are you bringing the food you brought with you?
I brought my own. Lots of jerky.
All right, so yeah, no, Thoradin's feeling fine. Not even a twitch from his stomach. He feels solid as a rock.
That's because I'm staying down deep in the ship, not up high where everything moves a lot.
I think you actually end up feeling worse down deep in there.
You 100% do. The place you're going to end up throwing up is when you're on above decks and you can see the line, the horizon line, and feel the wind and everything. You don't tend to get quite as sick.
But you're constituted as fuck, so you're good.
I am.
Right. So many of the constitutes.
Constituted AF.
Gareth, do you have any thoughts? What are you up to?
See, first day I'm probably just doing my watch and trying to at least meet some of the people so I can know them by name in case I need help with something or just not to be a jerk.
And when it's not my shift, I do want to kind of investigate as much as I can of the rest of the ship so I get a good feel for its layout.
Yeah.
You get a feel for that, and you get a feel for the crew. None of them stand out as being, I mean, you always have personalities, but none of them stand out as being particularly out of place or troublemaker or anything like that. They all kind of know their jobs, and they're all doing their jobs.
How do they feel about us being there?
They're used to it because there's a lot of passenger travel back and forth as well, so they're used to having just sort of random people on board.
But they're not like offended by the fact that we're basically hired muscle and that that's kind of saying that they aren't able to protect the ship?
No, because that's not. I mean, they can protect the ship. They're not responsible for that crate outside of reasonable attempts to protect it because their job is to get it to Cyranor. So
okay,
but
so they're not that they're there. We're just doing our job. They're doing their job. Who cares?
Right.
Got it.
Exactly.
Lux would like to make friendly enough to figure out how to tie knots. See if she could be useful.
Oh, those are some complicated knots that they tie on ships.
Time well spent seeing if she can help out with things and
time well spent.
Maybe learn some stuff.
Yep. So, where is everyone on the second day around, let's see, around 9 a.m. Lux and Gareth, where are you sleeping?
Where are we allowed to sleep?
I'm down in this little room here, and I have my bell trap set up at the door.
Is that?
Oh, I thought you were saying you were there with bells on.
Is that where we're allowed to sleep?
Sure.
And that's where I'm sleeping.
All right.
Right. And Thoradin, are you down?
I'm down in the belly.
I'm gonna.
Wait, you said at 9 a.m.? Okay.
9 a.m. Eastern time.
Daylight savings or?
And Finny, are you still up in the crow's nest?
Well, I'm not on watch right now, so I'm probably, grabbing something from the galley to eat up on deck.
All right, put yourself into the lower hold, please.
Well, I'll just be on this part of the deck. It's like the lower outside part right here.
That's fine. And Lee, that's where you want to be?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm on the main outer deck, but not on the higher parts right now.
So if anything, it's actually a little warmer on this second day of travel. It's a high of 82. Wind is basically the same out of the west. Clear skies. The leaves are rustling. Veins are moving. Gareth and Lux are solidly asleep in their bunks. Thoradin's hanging out down with Saren down by the crate. Finny and Lee are on the main deck. When suddenly the ship comes to a sudden and abrupt stop. Like it's moving and then it just stops.